Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, especially after a traumatic event and devastating event at that, such as a divorce? You're not alone. Hi, my name is Keanon Slade, and I have successfully achieved FIRE. That is, I have achieved financial independence, retired early, and I'm here in sunny Costa Rica. And I help good guys build a great life outside the US. Today's cornerstone topic is going to be something that's very important for all of us, actually, no matter where you're at, is actually taking care of yourself, so self-care and mental health. And these things are very important to if you're going to enjoy your utopia, because no matter where you are, no matter where you go, you can run away from it. Wherever you go, there you are. And so if you're not taking care of your mental health and you're not doing self-care, then your utopia will actually get ruined and you're not going to enjoy the journey. So let's get into some pointers that are going to help. Even though I'm going to talk about some things that are going to help you, I want to stop you real quick just to say something to my divorced men. If you guys are looking for something that will help you after you've been divorced, separated, heck, even dumped, and you're still looking to move abroad and you're trying to figure out how do you adjust and to deal with this, I want to have something special for you because honestly, going through that situation, I want to give you something a little bit different because your journey is different. And you can find that information in the link below. And let's get into the rest of the video. I really want to be real with you. Me going through my separation and ultimately going to be divorced was devastating. Because once you get to this part of the journey, you realize it's not just your spouse that you're losing, the dynamics between the kids have changed, your life-term dreams are now gone. You have to figure out what you're gonna do. And the thing that is going crazy, yeah, that's all logical and oh yeah, that's in my head. But the point number one is you got to understand your emotions. Now, your emotions should never be in the driver's seat because there's going to be raw emotions everywhere. There's going to be things like anger, sadness, fear, or jealousy for no apparent reason. And you're going to have to figure out, hey, are you in the driver's seat? Oh, you can't get in the driver's seat. But your feelings are there so they can indicate that, yeah, there's something wrong. And this is where I definitely recommend you going to seek counseling, going to get help by professionals. Yeah, you can talk to your boys and you might be able to vent some steam, but really you want to be able to get with a counselor, especially when you go through this traumatic event. And this is really important. It was important for me because when you're in a divorce or if you've been in an abusive relationship or if you just had a toxic relationship or whatever the reason was that caused you divorce, you have to be able to figure out, okay, how do I heal from this? And how do I do it well? Because a lot of times we just cover it up, especially men. We won't talk about it. Some men believe you shouldn't cry and all that stuff. And so it gets covered up. And this is one of those things that you can't do, especially if you want to have a relationship in the future. Because if you don't clean up and deal with your emotional baggage, that stuff will come up, especially when there's an unknown trigger. Like, oh, you remind me. You probably won't say that. But your subconscious is going to be like, she reminds me of my ex, and those emotions may come right back because they're not dealt with. So dealing with your emotions is very vital to not just your utopia, but it's good for your state of mind. And honestly, when you can start dealing with your emotions, you can start practicing forgiveness, which is something that you really need to get to. No matter who's the cause, who's the blame, without that forgiveness, you're not going to be able to truly get healed. If you guys are resonating with this, I want you guys to watch to the very end because I'm going to give you some tips and some points that will actually help you on your journey. Because yeah, it's about your utopia, but it's also about you. If you are not, well, then actually making that courageous jump to live into another country becomes pretty hard. And so you need to actually have some tools and some things that will actually help you in your journey. So I want you to watch to the very end and let's get into the next point. Now, I would say the next point, I usually say prayer and prayer will be the first and talking to God and things like that. But I wanted to give you something a little bit different this time because it's all important. I want to make sure I had time to tell everything in this short YouTube clip. But the next point for me would be actually to exercise, to take hobbies, to do things where you're getting out. Now, my problem happened in the pandemic, so all the gyms were closed. But I was able to find YouTube videos. When they started opening the door a little bit, I started trying stuff new like Zumba classes and to get to meet people. I started walking. I have tons of footage about me and my friends walking. I live in Costa Rica and, well, Gracie, in the mountains. And you see all these beautiful sights. And it got me to begin to change my perspective because I was getting exercise, getting my body in health. I actually felt better. Now, you've ever noticed that your emotions suck when your body is not together, when you're out of shape? Your emotions, your body, everything's all connected. And so if you're not giving your mental health, and then that means you're not taking care of your body, which is going to affect your mental health, those things actually can work against you and make it even tougher to deal with what is actually going on. So you actually want to be able to exercise to be able to treat yourself right. And honestly, if you can make a hobby out of it where you enjoy, it's not just you doing push-ups unless you enjoy push-ups. Maybe you're doing tennis, which is getting you moving, or things like that. Those are actually really helpful because you'll wake up and look forward to doing something that you enjoy. So if you guys are interested in the topics that we've been talking about, I want you guys to click on the link, because moving to a different country is a lot more than just figuring out your F.I.R.E numbers, figuring out the place where you want to go. It's actually having a holistic view. Some of the things and some of the gotchas are because you didn't think outside the box. And so I want you guys to actually have a tool. So I want you guys to be able to click on the link below, and we'll get into the next point. Point number 3 is to give yourself time to heal. Now, me, I'm a person who was like, all right, checkbox, checkbox, checkbox. Okay, I did all that. Okay, counselor, doc, depends on who I was talking to at the time. I did what you said. I read the book. Why am I not better? It was like, you have to give yourself permission and time to heal. And for me, it took quite a long time. My situation was my identity had got changed and manipulated, and there was, again, some psychological abuse going on. And so there was a lot that I had to recover from. That honestly, I had to remind myself, I am not the same person anymore. Sometimes from time to time, depends, what comes in. And you have to be able to give yourself time to heal. The other part of that, especially for me, was some of that stuff had never been tested. Like, I was healed in the area. I was like, what am I going to do when I talk to that person? And I got healed, but that talk didn't come with that person till, I don't know, months later. And so it was like, am I going to be able to do it? I don't know. And you're like, remind yourself, this is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to proceed. And when I got into it, it was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Now, without the help, that would not have been the outcome. And I know because I've done it. I've done it without the help, and I've done it with the help. And yes, you want to be able to get help and give yourself time to heal and to be able to adjust from that particular traumatic event. And again, it'll help you to be able to see the flowers, smell the roses, if you will. Roses stink, but whatever flower smells good. You want to be able to get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm healing. Oh, I notice other things. A lot of times when we're hurting and we're not healed, we can only focus on, she did this and she did that. That's the divorce, this divorce, that, she promised it. But when we're healing, we're like, oh, I know this other things. There's beautiful. There's a bird. There's plants, and so there's other people in the world. There's other things that matter. And so you begin to give yourself that time to heal, give yourself that permission to heal, and that will actually get you a long way once you give yourself permission. So the question for you guys is, what is the one thing that you guys have tried to pivot so that you can heal or get better out of this particular situation? I want you to leave it in the comments below. And so the next point would be, it's okay to get help. Now, I've been saying this like crazy. Go get counseling, go get counseling, go get counseling. But also, a part of that is, when you're getting help, is don't forsake your friends. A lot of times we'll get so fixated on, okay, I need to fix this problem, I need to fix this problem. And it's like watching water boil. It's all your energy, everything is in there, and everything that you focus on gets bigger. And so when you're getting help, part of that getting help is finding, I would say, support groups, yes, but finding a supportive group of people just as well. Your friends, maybe new friends that you're doing stuff with, that you're not alone. The part of this is don't do this alone. Don't do this journey alone. If you do this journey alone, it's not going to end well. You want to be able to have other things that you're concentrating on, other people, other concerns, even if that means that you're maybe even serving somewhere and getting more people that you're like, oh yeah, I'm helping this environment, and maybe they're pouring back into me some other way that's actually completely unrelated. You're not doing this alone, and you say, hey, today I'm not feeling good, and especially if you're at church, I need some prayer warriors, blah blah blah. And so those things actually help you. So there's a lot of things you can do and people you can go to so that you're not doing this journey alone. And the last point I would say is remind yourself of your worth. And this was big for me because of the type of abuse that I was going through. I had lost my worth. And I always thought that one of my values and that made me something, which now I know I need to it's in Christ, not in my failures or my success. It was the ability to fix things. And so I just kept trying to fix things. And when I couldn't, because I didn't realize back then that you can change you, but you can't change anyone else. And when I kept trying to fix things, other people's problems, and then it didn't work, it felt like my value was out the window. And so I had to begin to remind myself daily. Even I still do, because I found out it was a very good habit to do other things, such as have a business and things like that. Just remind yourself, hey, you're not this day, you're not this situation, you are you, and you're important. And there's a whole lesson. There's affirmations that I say, and I talk to God, of course. And I'm talking to God, and I'll tell him the affirmations, and he'll remind me of other affirmations. And so it's reminding myself of worth, reminds you of your worth, that even though things didn't turn out how you expected it, no matter what your situation is, you need to realize that you're still valuable. And most importantly, you're a child of God. So that makes you valuable. But you're also valuable in the workplace. The other day, I was actually thinking about going back into work, and I was like, what is stuff called today? And I was like, let me do my resume. And as I was doing my resume, I'm like, wow, I had forgot about all the valuable stuff. And so I was like, oh, I can be valuable in business. I can be valuable in the workplace. I can be valued still on fire. If you haven't seen the video, the reason why the job comes up is I went to F.I.R.E. And so I'm considering working in the field for some amount of time to actually help F.I.R.E. So I can do more a lot faster. That's a whole nother video. But those are the things, I am talented and I have had lots of success. And even though I'm not my success, I am capable of producing success. And so realizing your worth goes a long way. So if you found this video helpful, I want you guys to click on that like button, smash that like button, subscribe, even share, and don't forget to comment below. And if you guys really found the information valuable, I want you guys to click on the link so you can have some tools that will actually be able to help you on your journey. Until then, I'll see you on the other side.